think the statement is naughty, it's disingenuous, and I think it is deflecting massively from the failure of the board and of the head coach to deliver.
I wouldn't disagree with any of that. And I do wonder where Hearts now go from here. They won't be relegated, that's silly to talk like that. But they have got 5 reasonably meaningless games in the bottom half.
What if they lose them all?
Of the league. Surely they couldn't lose them all. Listen, I actually think they've got enough points.
Yeah.
I don't think anyone's ever gone into the playoff place with the number of points that Hearts currently have.
I know.
So they probably could lose them all.
And the fact
still
is,
be
these
safe.
are the teams that Hearts have beaten this season.
Yeah.
The Hearts, Neil Critchley's issue is that he hasn't beaten anybody of any stature at any point.
I do wonder what happens next for Hearts, because Lawrence Shankland's leaving. Craig Gordon is 42 years of age and he can't go on forever. Now, I'm not going to say he's going to retire this summer, he might not, but he's not going to get any younger or any better.
I still don't think there's any better than him.
Listen, you might well be right, but look at some of the signings they've made in the last 12 months.
That's the problem.
The lad Salazar came in, turned around and went home again. Gerard Taylor, for 45 minutes, looked a good player.
Well, I told he was a £10 million right back.
Well, listen, he's already, they're not going to take up.
They're not going to take him back.
That. You know, there's players like George Grant out of contract, reasonably well paid. Has he done enough to merit another contract? You could say that about a lot of the Hearts players.
You could buy the Hubble telescope and not find Barry Mackay.
Well, listen, there you go. There's a lot of players who have seen better days, who aren't going to get any better. So there's going to be a big turnaround there in the summer. Do you trust Neil Critchley to take charge of that turnaround?
No. I think he'd be an exceptionally good coach with kids. I think he'd be a great guy to work with a manager who was going to be a little bit more forceful with the players he has. I don't think he's in the right movie for Hearts. He reminds me very much like Nick Montgomery at Hibs last year.
You made in the column last week,
and several other Hibs managers before then.
Yep.
But unfortunately for Hearts, he also reminds me of probably the last half dozen Hearts managers appointed by Anne Budge and her board.